Okay. Yeah, hello everyone. Also for me, I know seems like the screen also went off. We're struggling with the screen setup, as you noticed. But besides that, yeah, I will tell you a little bit more about Meerkat, what we built here. And to start with, if you haven't taken out your phone yet and scanned the code, that you will see the screen on the left side. At the moment, we offer these two options. One is like joining the QA, which is also kind of the call to action, as you can see from the color, and then this collect stage. If you go to the QA section, you will be able to see all the questions that have been asked previously before, and then the ability to add your own questions. And if there was something that you actually really enjoyed during the talk, you can show that by pressing the heart, and then it will be shown up to everyone else in live. And on the right side, we see the second flow that we currently support, which is the collecting the pod into your ZooPass. So this is something that we want to enable for downstream usability. So we're thinking here about, for example, gating based if you have attended a certain talk, or maybe a connection to a specific speaker just by being able to show that you actually attended and were there. But also other abilities, like for example, there could be the way of collecting a certain number of pods in order to win prizes, for example. So it could be also a game. In an ideal world, how we expect it to be is that this will be shown before the talk, and then also visible like we have it right now here doing the whole talk. Because I've noticed a few people glancing over to the right side. It's kind of engaging to see people actually giving feedback, also voting. I know there's already a few questions. I will keep them to the end. Maybe there's more to come. And so this way we can always have a kind of a quality control. I'll also show you a little bit of what we do on moderation side, and basically bring up the questions that are most relevant to the biggest group. Yeah, so with this, I want to jump in to not this, but this, or maybe not this. Here. So yeah, this screen we have seen before. I want to quickly talk about also where this is coming from. So one thing that we started with ZuMeet is that there is this, there's this GitHub repo about from ZX Park about ZooPass. This mono repo basically contains everything that they have regarding their services, and what then also hosts the ZooPass. And this is what we started with building. But if you don't want to jump right into the code, there's also a little bit of explanation. Oh, sorry for the light mode. There's no dark mode here. But there's a small description about this, including if you click on the docs, you will get to an explanation about how the POD and GPC development works, what it all is about, and how you can use it, and different projects that actually have been used also in other conferences before. So maybe you have actually used any of those previously. And then the different packages. With this, though, you might have noticed that now I talked a lot about ZooPass itself, but the team is also pushing to the new version, which is the ZAPPS SDK. This is the version 1, was just released last week, so it's very fresh and new, freshly baked. And it basically goes also into detail about how you can use this from a point of how you connect it, how you can request certain permissions also to perform on top of the ZooPass. And then most importantly, if you're thinking about building anything for DEF CON and want to prove that people are having in possession of a ticket, then there's a section about how you can check if somebody has a DEF CON ticket. In the very end, you will actually have also the configuration you have to give it. And this is also how we will be gating this for the DEF CON event, actually. So for now, you will be able to log in just by having a ZooPass account, but this is not the final version that will be available in 3 weeks. So there are some modifications that we did for today just for you to be able to use this. Yes, and so with this new SDK, you will have this pop-up and then the ability to as shown in the beginning, this is still progress. You have the ability to create PODs, basically put them into the ZooPass, signing them, subscribing, querying, and so on, and then also making those proofs. All of this you can find in this ParkNet repository, which also lives on the same org. Okay, now I've done a lot of advertising for ZRXPark. Maybe I also quickly talk about what we do on Meerkat. So there is this repository freely available where we are utilizing some of these tools. So feel free to also go check it out and even contribute if you want to. Yeah, so there you will see also the changes that will come into the next weeks and how to use them. With this, one more thing that I want to show about the demo. I think everybody who has tried out before probably got a good feel about how it works. But in addition to the attendee view that you see now, there's also an organizer view. So for me, I can, for example, mark a message, a question, sorry, as answered, or block users also. I think this is some light moderation that will be done by people being in the location itself. And this way, we also make sure that the most relevant non-answer questions at the top. Going beyond this, we have many more ideas about how we can enhance and basically have more actions here. A few things we're still working on is the ability to actually provide PODs for the speaker so that it can use and provide the data that you just saw, like, for example, asking any type of question or voting, for you also to place it into your ZooPass. So the idea here is really to make all this data available so that later somebody can make proofs over them about like collaboration or engagement, essentially. Okay, so that's everything I wanted to show you right now. Now I can go into QA since we already have it open. And I will start from the top and then we can go down. So the first question is like, where are these questions stored? So at this point of time, the questions are only stored in a database, centralized. And however, as I just mentioned, from a roadmap point of view, we want to make them available to also be stored inside of a ZooPass, so you can use this to make proofs over them. In the future, for example, you could prove that you have done a certain question without like revealing your identity. And the way of how we use the ZAPPS at the moment, or the SDK itself, is that we are just proving that you have a ticket. But the idea is really to not take any more than that, what we need to give you access. However, if you are a speaker at DEF CON and you do want to have more access because you might want to add more information into Meerkat, then we would ask you to also share information that allows us to identify you as a speaker beyond your ticket. Okay, so I can mark this as answered. What's the green LED you're wearing? So we're doing 2 microphones today. So that's why this is that. And I guess the live feature doesn't work so well with this like part. In your experience, did the ZRXPark abstract away enough cryptography from the def? Okay, great question, by the way. I think for me at the moment, it's you still have to understand the different concepts quite well, because also things might not work out directly as you expect them to do. So you have to go deeper into look on this, how it works actually, and therefore I would say that the current abstraction layer maybe is still leaky. Like, you still need to understand the concepts underneath. However, it already pushes it much further than if I would have to go in and, for example, write my own circuits for this kind of stuff, or my own permission systems or something like that. Hope that answers the question. Then other proof stored through ZooPass on chain? No, at the moment not. I'm not sure if there is. I think there is so there's already a way if you can do it as an application. I'm not sure if ZuPass itself will be enabling this so that you have like some way of doing this, but as an application you could use it. Somebody wants some votes, okay. Yes, maybe I will do 2 more, and then also if there's any impromptu that you want to have answered, we can also do the old school show of hands. So the frog, I don't know how many people have been to the conference last year, but frog crypto, everything frog has been kind of like a meme around ZeroX Park. So that's why you will eventually see it maybe in your application, but it's more of an Easter egg. So congrats that you found it.
But if you do go into ZuPass, there's a folder called Frog Crypto, which is the Frog Crypto game from Dev Connect last year. So now everybody knows it, but last year when people went to Dev Connect, it was a surprise that this thing was in the folder, and it just has one button that says search the swamp, and then it gives you a new frog. And
they're beautiful.
So you can try it. It's kind of fun, surprisingly. Yeah. So that's that.
It has more buttons than just search the swamp.
Yes.
Yes, there's more functionality as well.
I was trying to condense my answer.
Okay.
Maybe the technical ones, just to.
I think
further down.
Maybe
like,
in the interest of time, we do one more question and then keep them coming in this thing, because people who ask good questions will maybe get rewarded later. Does anybody not want to use the app and ask a question in the traditional way? Then raise your hand now, please. Okay.
Just a small, how we will deal with the spam, like when people will spam just the bullshit.
Yeah, so a few things that we've already done, like as I just showed, like will be a moderator view, so somebody will be able to operate this and block users. And the user, as I mentioned before, is currently connected to your ticket. So once you're blocked, you cannot do anything anymore unless you have another ticket. Also, there's some rate limiting that we have put in place to, for example, prevent people just like spamming 10 messages or 10 questions in a minute or something like that. But yeah, obviously it's always a question how you go about it. And for this type of conference, we'll likely find also more measures how we can maybe even have a community-led approach by letting people report stuff, and then it will disappear after a certain amount of reports as well. Yeah, so this part isn't implemented yet, but at least the hard block user is there.
Maybe a download from the community?
Yeah, like so download, I think it sounds always very negative. So I like the approach of having upvotes and a report button. But yeah, like something like that just lets the attendees give any type of feedback, I think will be helpful to prevent spam.
Awesome. Thank you so much to Florian and Miriam.